Hello, everybody. It's your favorite girl, Irene, and you're welcome to True Crime by Irene. Guys, this is a sad story of a Nigerian pharmacist who was betrayed by his wife. It is so heart wrenching, and sometimes I begin to wonder if true love does exist. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching me from. If you're brand new, you're welcome to True Crime by Irene. So guys, buckle up because it's going to be a long, long ride. Today, I'm going to be dwelling on the case of Fumi and Osas that just took place a couple of weeks ago in the UK. Guys, Fumi and Osas are both Nigerian couple who reside in the UK. It is said that Osas moved to the UK, and after some time he went back to Nigeria to get married to his longtime girlfriend Fumi. And after their marriage, he went back to the UK, started working so hard, and he was actually a very successful pharmacist. After some time, when he was much more stable, he decided to bring Fumi over to meet him in the UK so they could start their family. Such a lovely couple. Fumi moved over, everything was fine. Their family was progressing. They started having babies, buying properties. However, as time went by, Fumi brought up this, good idea or brilliant idea to her husband Osas. And she said, why don't we build an Airbnb in Lekki? You all know Lekki in Nigeria. Why don't we be an Airbnb? It can give us a lot of money. And Osa said, yeah, that's a brilliant idea. Coming from the woman whom he trusts the most, I guess, on planet Earth. Okay. So Fumi was like, wow, that's a brilliant idea. But, due to the nature of my job, being a pharmacist in the UK is quite, time consuming and everything. When he gets back home, he's tired and he just needs to go to bed. So Fumi saying, I got you, baby. I got you. Do not bother. I'm going to be controlling the project from the UK. I will look for a contractor down there in Nigeria. All the finances, you just need to hand it over to me and I'm going to control everything from you. And as a wonderful husband who trusts the wife so much, he was so relaxed and, knowing fully well that his wife got his back. So from time to time, Fumi will come up with pictures to show Osas about the progress of the Airbnb. And at a point, when it got to the roofing, she suggested to her husband that, okay, now we are running out of cash. Why don't you take some loan from the British government so we could complete this project? And mind you, before then, Fumi came up with the suggestion of her husband bringing her two brothers to the UK. But Osas was like, we are following a project right now and it's huge. I want us to be done with this project. Then I'm going to think about bringing your brothers over to the UK. And he thought his wife was being realistic here because you cannot be handling a project like that and you are fighting of bringing your brother. That's going to be so, tedious to handle at once. So Osas thought like, okay, I already told my wife this, but he never knew that the wife had another plan. Guys, get ready for the bomb. So After the roofing of the house, one good day, Fumi told the husband that, oh, my brothers will be coming into the UK and I would like you to go pick them up at the airport. And Osas was like, hold on a minute, baby. What are you talking about? Fumi said, oh, my brothers got a direct employment from the UK and we didn't want to tell anyone. They just wanted to surprise you. Surprise you. And, for me being an understanding husband and in-law, just say, okay, well, that's fine. When I picked them up, they lived with them for a period of 6 months. Guys, know you having 2 mouths extra in your family abroad is quite consuming. They're going to consume electric bill, food, and everything because they weren't working at that time. They could not contribute, but their in-law got them covered. So, unfortunately, Fumi's husband, unfortunately, Osa's mom was sick and he decided to go to Nigeria to see his mom. After spending some time with his mom, being the good son-in-law that he is, he decided to go see his wife's mom. And when he got there, boom, the bombshell. The mother-in-law, African mom, oh, my in-law, thank you so much. Thank you. You are God sent into my family. Oh, my Odogo, thank you for taking my 2 sons over to the UK. Huh? And Fumi was like, what? But he just kept his cool. The lady was like, oh, I really appreciate you. Ever since you came into this family, it's been one good thing happening from one good thing to another. And Osas just pretended like, okay, he's the one who brought them over. He was like, oh, mom, it's okay. So Osas told the wife, all right, I'm going to go check the project in Lekki and I need the contact of the contractor. And that night, the wife couldn't sleep. Her heart was pumping, She didn't know what to tell the husband. The house was not roofed. As a matter of fact, there was no house. You understand? So she called her husband like, oh, baby, I'm so worried, when you told me you're going to go see the house, it hasn't been roofed because I used that money to bring my brothers over to the UK. Osas was like, okay, no problem. Let me just go see the house anyways. But guys, there was no house. Nowhere. That even made the matter worse. Osas had to stay in Nigeria for 3 weeks, but he kept his stay. He took the next available flight to the UK. But before he landed, he told the wife to tell the brothers to leave his house before he get to the UK. So when he got to call the wife in the room, why would you do such a thing without telling me? Mind you, I told you I was going to bring your brothers over, but first let me finish with this project. And instead of the wife begging the husband, because if I were in her shoes, I don't know, I would just be begging. Instead of her begging her husband and like, babe, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, I thought I could cover up. Oh no, she flew up. She was like, are you the first person to bring your in-laws to the UK? Mind you, guys, he didn't bring them, okay? Because they use his money out of, without his concern. How can you say you're the first person to bring your in-laws to the UK? Blah, blah, blah. Some women can talk. And before you know it, Osas lose his temper and hit her. Meanwhile, neighbors overheard them, quarreling. They called the police over. And when he saw the police, he got more irritated. and they had to call for backup because the police that came were not able to handle him. So finally, Osas was arrested. And when the case was being taken to court, the judge said that going through Osas' criminal record, he has not committed any crime since he came into the UK, and for that reason, he's going to be locked up for some years. However, his license is going to be at stake, okay? Because they don't joke in the UK. The judge said that he considered the crime as, being violent. He considers Osas as being violent, and like the crime is a domestic violence, and so he's been, charged based on domestic violence things. The wife on the other hand, said she's gonna fight for a divorce. Sometimes I begin to wonder where some women get their guts from. You wrong your husband instead of you to plead. If I was the one, I would even tell the police that, oh, it's my fault. She said no, she's gonna fight for a divorce and blah blah blah. However, I do not think she's doing that in her right conscience. So long story short, after all this mess, Osas is in jail and the wife is out there. However, I feel so sorry for him. Guys, I'm going to throw some light on this. A lot of women think that marriage is a poverty eradicating scheme. Some of them think that marriage is a way to escape poverty, to escape, I don't know. A lot of them have different impression about marriage. It's not every woman out there who's a wife material, honestly. To know that this guy was such a kind and nice guy and the wife had to treat him this way, I find it so disheartening. And I begin to wonder, do some spouses deserve their spouse? Like, this guy is not compared to bring your brothers to the UK. Yeah, it is true. I am fully in support of the fact that in-laws can help in-laws. But if your husband tells you to hold on, it's not an issue of pressure. You don't need to pressurize him. Better still, you're in the UK. You can use your own money and do that. And when you do such a huge mistake like that, when she was planning all this, she didn't know her husband would go to Nigeria so soon. She thought that she could play over with time, but I was wondering where she could have had such huge amount of money to finish the project before her husband noticed it. However, I think that it was during the period of COS, and she had some pressure from her brothers, like, oh, everyone is moving to the UK and there is a COS. Maybe if we don't do it at this time, we might lose this opportunity. But guys, there are a lot of people who move to the UK under this COS scheme, and most of them, we see them online every day, they do not have jobs. So imagine Osas is in jail, and if these brother-in-laws of his have not gotten a job, then I wonder what their stay in the UK would look like, because there's going to be added responsibility on his wife. Even if they have to, rent a house, their sister is going to be responsible for that rent until they can fully support themselves. Look at the nice, wonderful relationship built on trust. It has been completely ruined because of one selfish partner, and that is Fumi. Women, please learn to take things as it comes. Cut your coat according to your size. You don't need to be pressured by family. Your husband is not an ATM machine. If you and your husband are not ready to sponsor any family project, Like I said, your husband is not an ATM machine. Tell your siblings to hold on. Better still, if they do not want to hold on, they can handle it their own way. Imagine this union has been ruined and Osa's license has been, destroyed. This guy is never gonna forgive his wife and siblings. It is really so heart-wrenching. Men, be wise, be smart. If there is any project and you do not trust your wife, even if you trust her, because Osas trusted his wife so much, guys, most of the time it is better for you to do the financial transaction, or better still, you can go back home when you are on vacation to carry out this project. I do not know how people need to trust their spouses, because I really feel so ashamed on this lady's part. That is such a huge project, and for you to destroy all what your husband has saved for a very long time is like a big slap on his face. Please learn to be transparent in your marriage, trust, love, and stay together no matter what. Until then, see you on my next video. Please do not forget to subscribe, share, turn on your notification bell so that you're gonna be notified whenever I upload a new video. Until then, bye bye.